Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over 11 Google Display ad strategies. So we're going to go through 11 different strategies you can use, really some best practices on the Google Display Network when you're running campaigns through Google Ads. So as we get started, the first thing I want to show you is our playlist with our Google Display Network advertising tutorials. So we have a complete 2019 Google Display Ads tutorial where we create a campaign. We did a Gmail ads tutorial. We talked about Google Display Network. We talk about the different ad types, the display planner tool, responsive display ads, targeting methods. So really everything you need to know is on this playlist. So make sure you check out this playlist to go along with this video. So now we're going to get right into the different strategies. So the first thing, and I kind of go over this first whenever I'm going over Google Ads in general, is to make sure you link your account to a Google Analytics account and make sure you import conversions. So if you go to tools when you go into your Google Ads account and you go into linked accounts here, it's going to come up with this page here. So all you need to do is go into details for your Google Analytics and just make sure it's linked to your Google Ads account. Now, if we open up Google Analytics here and we're in our admin screen, so this is for Surfside PPC, under product linking, you can see Google Ads linking. We can click on that and you can just make sure that you have your accounts linked to each other. So this is going to allow you to import conversions. You can easily track everything you need to with your campaigns, which we'll go over a little bit later in the video. So coming back to the admin screen, the next thing you want to do once you link your accounts is to make sure you import conversions. So we have a bunch of conversions imported here. You can import purchase conversions, lead conversions. There's other conversions here. You could do phone calls. So you want to make sure you're optimizing for every single conversion that's relevant for your business. So that's the first one, link accounts and import conversions. So number two, when you create a new campaign, you should see a screen that looks something like this. It's either going to say select the goal or it's going to tell you to select the campaign type. What you want to do is make sure you're separating out your goals based on what you're trying to accomplish in your campaigns. So let's say, for example, you're trying to run a campaign where you're trying to get your message out there. You want to increase your brand awareness, your reach, maybe just product and brand consideration. So you would want to use these types of campaigns because they're going to be more focused on getting more engagement, getting more impressions. Maybe you're getting clicks, but not as many leads and sales. Now, for other campaigns, you want to use leads and sales as your main goal for your Google display campaigns. So make sure you separate out those different campaigns. You can't be running a campaign with two different goals. You can't say we want to grow our brand awareness, but we also want to drive leads, because it's generally two different goals you're trying to accomplish. And those targeting you set up, the ads you create, pretty much everything is going to dictate how that campaign runs. So make sure you set up different campaigns for different goals. So number three is going to be a pretty quick one, but let's just say you're using leads as your goal. You choose the display campaign type. It's going to say here standard display campaign or a Gmail campaign. I highly recommend testing both out and seeing what performs better for you, or running both at the same time. So a standard display campaign is going to run across YouTube, the Google Display Network. So there's a lot of different options there for where your ads are going to run, whereas Gmail is only going to show up in people's Gmail inboxes. So we recently did a Gmail ads tutorial if you're not familiar with running a Gmail campaign, but just try both, test out a standard display campaign and a Gmail campaign. So that's number three. Okay, so number four is going to be to make sure you're testing out different audiences and you understand how the different audiences are more likely to perform. So before we talked about you setting up different campaigns for different campaign goals. If you're focused more on telling people about your brand and about your products and services, you might want to use affinity and custom affinity audiences. So those are going to be much more broad. So you can just see here, if I go into affinity audiences, we'll use travel as our example here. So if I look at travelers, and if we look at travel buffs, they have beach-bound travelers, family vacationers. So maybe you're trying to advertise for a beach destination. You can just click on beach-bound travelers here. So these are people that might go on 1 to 2 beach vacations per year, probably just one vacation per year. And you're just trying to convince people to visit your beach destination, maybe rather than a competitor's beach destination. So that's where affinity audiences would come in. Now you definitely want to use the other audiences down here. So remarketing is going to be the best for driving sales and leads. Similar audiences, in-market audiences, and custom intent audiences all perform very well too, because you're trying to reach people basically as they're looking for something. So in-market and custom intent, it's going to be what people are actively researching or planning. So if we come into here and we click on in-market audiences, and we'll use travel again as our example. So the way it's different here is if you look at travel, they have all these different options here. If we do trips by destination, scroll down, we could do trips to North America, trips to the United States. Keep scrolling down, we could do trips to California. So you can see there's all these different options here. They have Buffalo, they have Atlanta. So maybe you're doing to San Diego. So this would be actively people who are actively looking for a vacation in San Diego. So this is where you would want to reach them for a sales or leads campaign. Whereas if you're trying to do more branding and product consideration, you definitely want to use some affinity audiences and really more broad audiences that people would have interest in what you have to offer, but maybe not right now. So you're just trying to get people more interested in your beach destination or whatever it is you're trying to sell. Now, in addition to audiences, you also want to incorporate demographics. So the way you can use demographics is open your Google Analytics account. So pick some dates, go to the audience, demographics, and overview, and you can see the age and gender of the people who are visiting your website. So if I look at Surfside PPC, it's mostly 25 to 34, so that's 50% of my audience, and it's mostly male, so that's about 70% of my audience. It doesn't mean you're not going to be interested in other demographics outside of your main audience, but when you're trying to drive leads, when you're trying to drive sales, you definitely want to incorporate demographics so that you're reaching the people that are most likely to convert. So number 4 is basically make sure that you're using all these different audience types within your campaigns, and then also incorporate demographics. You can use all your data from Google Analytics to find the most targeted demographics for your business. So number 5 is going to be you can use a new display planner now when you're creating your campaigns. That's going to be number 5 is make sure you're using that display planner when you're creating your campaigns. So if you look at targeted placements here, they have search by word, phrase, URL, or video ID. So if I do something like advertising, what it's going to do is pull up the top websites, the top YouTube channels, the top videos, apps that I can target with my advertisements. So if I click on websites, you can see there's a lot of different websites here. They're not all going to be perfect here, so you still need to go through the different websites that they list based on what it is you're targeting. If we look at YouTube channels, so they have a lot of different YouTube channels. Again, some are going to be very good, some aren't going to be as good. But even if we just look at something like PPC advertising, usually our channel will come up in the YouTube channels section. So you can see Surfside PPC, we're actually right at the top there. So that means that if you're trying to target people with PPC advertising related ads, you could use our YouTube channel as an option there. So just make sure you're using that new display planner. So we have a complete tutorial on our channel for the new Google Display Planner tool, and that's where we go over how to use it with when you're creating a campaign to target different placements, keywords, or whatever it is you want to target. I generally focus more on audiences and demographics, but you can still layer in content targeting as well. So it's just another option when you're creating campaigns. So next is going to be number 6, and number 6 is going to be to make sure that you test all the different types of display ads that you can. So when you're creating ads for your campaign, you click to add a new ad. You definitely want to use responsive display ads here. So with responsive display ads, you upload a landscape image, a square image, and then your logo. And what it's going to do is create a bunch of different ads here. And you can see headlines up to 5. Make sure you're using all those different headlines. You get a long headline here. You get descriptions up to 5. So the more you enter here, the better your campaign is going to perform because Google is going to be able to optimize your advertisements. So you can also use videos as well. So the best thing to use for videos is something that's short, that loops. So for the example of farmhouse goals, one of the videos we could use is a slideshow just showing some of the different popular products. Maybe for Surfside PPC, I can put videos of some different courses we have to offer, maybe some different books that we're selling, different things like that. So you can use videos and just use an easy slideshow so people can view your video quickly when they're looking at a display advertisement. So you definitely want to use responsive display ads. I generally upload at least a couple responsive display ads for each campaign in each ad group that I'm running. And then you also want to use regular display ads. So just your standard display ads, when you click on upload, if you come down here to supported sizes and formats, you want to start with the larger sizes. So anything that's towards the bottom of these lists that have some larger sizes. But then you also want to do the 970 by 250. There's also mobile banners here. So you want to upload as many of these ads as possible. The other thing is AMP HTML formats. So I haven't used that yet. That's something that I'm going to try to create a tutorial on as I learn more about it. But the more ad sizes you upload, the more ad variations you upload, the better your campaigns are going to perform. So make sure you're testing out all these different image ads. Don't just come in and say, okay, we're just going to upload a 300 by 250, a 728 by 90, and a 160 by 600, and we'll see how our campaign performs. You really want to test everything. So if you're working with clients, just make sure that they know they need to test absolutely everything. You can send them to this video if they don't believe you. Just making sure that you test as much as possible to get the most out of your campaign. So number 7, so when you're creating your campaign settings, when you're creating bidding strategies here, so right here is bidding. So if we click on it, we're using a target CPA bid strategy. I always recommend using a target CPA or target ROAS bid strategy. So if you click on change bid strategy here, so the best thing is to be at the top here with these two bid strategies. So that means you're optimizing for conversions or conversion value. Now there's also maximize clicks, maximize conversions, and those can work as well, but you don't really want to use some of these other manual bidding strategies anymore. Google's added so many more features and it makes your campaign perform much better when you're using these automated bidding strategies, specifically target cost per action, where you're trying to set your bids to get the most conversions possible, or target return on ad spend, where you're trying to set your bids to get the largest return on your total spend. So either one of these bidding strategies is going to give you better performance, whether you're using target CPA or target ROAS. If you need to start in the beginning by using a maximize clicks, maximize conversions, or even a manual CPC with enhanced CPC, you can. But this is why our first step is so important: linking your accounts and importing conversions and optimizing your campaigns for a goal like leads or sales is really going to give you the best overall performance for your campaign. So number 8, as we come in here, so this is a campaign we recently ran for a little bit through Farmhouse Goals, and what you're going to be able to find is the placements where your advertisements ran. So one of the best things you can do, and number 8 is going to be to make sure you're excluding underperforming placements or adding placements to your campaign and targeting them separately if they're performing well for your campaign. So these are all pretty good placements for Farmhouse Goals. It's all related to farmhouse decor pretty much. Some of it's not perfect, but you can see that we're getting some clicks and impressions on these websites. If you're seeing any websites that are completely unrelated to your content, you can start to exclude them. But really what you want to do is look at the cost data, and if one, two, or three websites are starting to get a ton of costs and no conversions whatsoever, then you just exclude them completely from your campaign. So just a best practice, make sure you're excluding underperforming placements or targeting placements more aggressively if they are performing well for your business. Now, number 9 is your landing pages. So make sure you're testing different landing pages. So let's say we're advertising for farmhouse sinks. We have this page right here. So it's our shop page for farmhouse sinks. There's a ton of different products for sale. People can see the different categories of products right here. They can look at all the most recent products, the most popular products, the highest price, lowest price, whatever it is. And then we also have a page that's set up more like a blog post for farmhouse sinks. So it goes over farmhouse sinks at the top, types of farmhouse sinks so people can see all the different types, a bunch of different products here for sale. So testing different landing pages and seeing what drives the most conversions for your business, the most conversion value for your business is another best practice. I really recommend testing targeting, ads, and landing pages as much as possible. Now it's hard to test all three at once, so maybe you start by testing targeting, then you start by testing ads a little bit more. You can always kind of test ads because the way Google is set up is they're going to optimize towards your best performing ads, but you can also set up different targetings for landing pages. So maybe you upload two sets of ads. One goes to the first landing page, one goes to the second landing page, and Google's going to continue to serve the best performing ads. So test different landing pages, test different targeting, test different advertisements. That's how you're going to get the most out of your Google display advertising campaign. Now, number 10, after you link your accounts and everything like that, one of the things you're going to be able to see in Google Analytics, so when you link your accounts and you import conversions, it's going to set up auto tagging for your campaigns. So we're looking at dates here. If you come into your Google Analytics account, you click on acquisition and then Google Ads and campaigns, you can see the different campaigns you're running. You can see what the conversion rate is for those campaigns, how many clicks you've driven, the total cost, the cost per click. You can break it down by different ad groups. If you scroll to the bottom, you can see here display targeting, so you can look at all the different targeting that you're using right now. So we're not using any display keywords, we're not targeting any placements, but if we click on interests and remarketing, it'll show how the different targeting is performing. So we're using a custom intent audience for our campaign, but if you're using different audiences, different interests, maybe different ages, genders, you can look and see what's performing best for your business and use that within your targeting or to exclude targeting from your campaign. So just making sure you're monitoring your campaigns in Google Analytics, coming to this acquisition, Google Ads, campaigns, you can see everything that's happening in your account, and it's going to help you optimize and get more out of your budget. Now, last but not least, one of the most important things that you might not know about with Google Display Ads is some of the different conversions that they track. So one of them is called a view through conversion. So this is when someone actually sees your advertisement. Maybe it's on a website, maybe it's on a YouTube channel. They see your advertisement, they don't click it then, but they end up converting, let's say within a 30-day period. So if someone's, let's say, interested in booking a beach vacation, you have your advertisements running all over the place. They end up searching for beach vacations through Google search. They click through Google search ads, they click your ad, they go to your website and they book. You're actually going to get credit for a view through conversion because at one point that person saw your Google display ads. So it's just another way to track conversions, and all you need to do for view through conversions is when you open up your account, you go to columns here, click on modify columns, and under conversions, one of the options is view through conversions. So you click on this and you can click apply, and it's going to add it to your conversion columns. So you could just know more about how your campaign is performing, how many conversions you're driving within your budget. And it's just another way to look at it. So you definitely want to look at cross device conversions. So someone who maybe clicks on your ad on a mobile device ends up converting on their desktop device. So cross device conversions and view through conversions, just another way to look at how valuable your display campaigns are. And if you're not familiar with them yet, make sure you check that out and see if you're getting any view through conversions within your campaigns. So if you have any questions, this is 11 Google Display Ad strategies updated for 2019. These will probably be relevant into 2020 and beyond. So again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching our video today, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.